you need something to offer, right? Like, I mean, we're getting people's attention. We know who we're trying to connect with. We, we maintain their attention by nurturing them, right? Hopefully we're positioning ourselves as a bit of an authority because we've got the right message. We've got to ask them to do something. We've got to kind of move the relationship along. So I think every good training business needs to have 3 offers. They need to have a lead capture offer, which, a lead magnet, opt-in gift, freemium. It's called a lot of different things, but we need some way to capture somebody's contact information so we can follow up with them. And that's it. There's no real must. In most cases, this is going to be free, but let's say that you really wanted to kind of pre-qualify people. Maybe you've got a book and it's free plus shipping, or hey, you can buy our book for $7.95 or something like that. So it's a really low barrier thing, but in most cases it's free opt-in gift, right? The second one is our evergreen offer. So this is the offer that at any time somebody hits our website, anytime somebody opts in to connect with us, anytime we come in contact with somebody, there's this offer where somebody can experience what we do in some way, shape, or form. Now, that could be a 1-month trial membership or a 21-day membership. It could be just a success session, right? But it's a next step in the relationship. So we're taking the relationship from, okay, we're aware of one another, to, no, we're actually going to sit down and move this forward and see if this is a good fit. So we can do this in a single session, or we can do this through a trial experience. But we've got to move things forward a little bit. Now, I'll go back through and give you examples of how these might work and give you some potential suggestions. But just understand, the evergreen offer is something that at any point in time, this is the kind of typical next step in the relationship for somebody with you. And then the third one is a deadline-driven offer, right? So, hey, we're going to start our new transformation challenge on Monday, so you need to enroll by Friday. Enrollment closes at midnight, or the price goes up, or something like that. But really, it's an offer that forces people to take action, right? So let me talk about each of these for a couple minutes individually. So the first one, the lead capture offer, I think is really what we're trying to do is move somebody from kind of a general audience or a media somebody else controls, right? So we're not having to pay for ads on Facebook to reach them, or we're not having to send direct mail to reach them anymore. We're not hoping they find us on YouTube. We're trying to get them to opt in, so now we've got them on a contact list that we control how we communicate with them, right? So how do we do that? Well, we have to give them something of value in exchange for their contact information. It could be a free special report. It could be a video series or a video master class. It could be a hard copy thing, a book. It could be an audio download, a cheat sheet, a checklist. There are all these different things that people use. I think what you're trying to do is build value. You're trying to kind of filter people off, right? We don't want to necessarily put out a lead magnet just captures everybody, and they're not necessarily at all qualified to be our prospect. So giving somebody, okay, we're in Louisville, giving somebody a, recipes of the South cookbook isn't probably qualifying them to have an interest in what we would do. Now, healthy Southern recipes might, right? Because at least they're saying, okay, I'm interested, and they're narrowing this to health-related or fitness-related. And you can get really narrow. But you have to make sure you're not outsmarting yourself too, right? So some people are like, well, hey, I want to give these people this great home workout stuff. I'm like, well, you're trying to get them to come to a gym. So don't outsmart yourself there, right? Make sure that whatever we're using builds value in what we do, and gets them to at least raise their hand a little bit. I mean, if you want to use a book, great. I mean, it's a little more cumbersome, a little more labor intensive to actually put together a book. A cheat sheet on how to make your own healthy smoothies is probably a little bit simpler. And the thing about it is, too, we want them to consume this. We want them to derive some benefit. So, I mean, I know that one of the mistakes I made with like a lead magnet at one point was, man, I recorded a whole weekend seminar. I said, I'll give you the weekend seminar. I'm like, it had a lower conversion rate of when I gave people 3 single sheets of paper, like cheat sheets, because they wanted immediate gratification. They wanted something that could solve a problem for them now, or they could benefit from now. That's why things like recipe guides and cheat sheets and hacks and all this stuff, where somebody feels like, okay, I can use one thing instantly, that's why they work so well, right? So the lead capture offer, we want it to basically give somebody some value, hopefully position us as a little bit of a trusted authority in exchange for their contact information. That way we get them into that kind of nurture process, and then we'll make them one of these other offers over time, the evergreen offer or the deadline-driven offer. And in some cases, maybe both, depending on if they convert for one or the other, right? But, you know, that's it. We want to control that conversation. We want to have the opportunity to nurture that relationship, and the only way we can really do that is to capture the lead. So that's an offer that should be running really, I mean, pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, pretty much 365 days a year, right? Like it's that important. We always want to be building that kind of house list, that contact database, because if you have that, you can keep marketing to them, you can keep doing things, and you're not having, it's basically, it's like the golden goose, right? Like it's, you've got this list and you keep nurturing it, and you keep building value, and you keep creating a strong relationship, and it will keep yielding more and more clients, as opposed to, running ads a little bit like a slot machine instead, where it's like put something in and hopefully we get more out. So lead capture, that's the offer that is always going. Now, I would tell you, if you're not running a deadline-driven offer, like let's say you're not pushing, advertising directly to like a transformation contest, the rest of the time you should be running your advertising to a lead capture offer and then make the evergreen offer on the back end. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, the evergreen offer is, it's really your opportunity to build rapport with somebody, learn very specifically about what they want and how you can solve their problems, and hopefully give them some sort of belief that you are the best solution for them. Some people, the best way for them to do that is simply, hey, you come in for a success session, we're going to go through an assessment, we're going to go through goal setting, and we're going to help you understand how we can help you get to where you're trying to go. And they can do this all in a day. Sometimes for them, it's a paid thing, sometimes it's free, but it's moving them into the gym in some way, shape, or form. For other people, it's kind of this low-risk mechanism to get people in the door, like what a lot of us call like a front-end offer, right? It is, a very simple way to get somebody in. You say, hey, you can come in and, test drive our program for $149 for 1 month. Or you can do our semi-private training for $297 for 1 month. Usually the pricing there should be the equivalent to what an ongoing membership with you or ongoing, training program with you would cost if somebody was in what your most popular program is, be it annual or month to month or whatever. But if you normally charge $199 a month, then my recommendation is the Evergreen offer definitely isn't a whole lot cheaper than that. I mean, could you do it for $149? Sure. Would I do something for $79 or $99? No, because now you're not qualifying them well enough to continue on. Some people do really well with charging more for the first month. Now, they may do a little bit more in the onboarding to make sure somebody has a great experience, but I've seen plenty of people charge 50% more for month one because now they know that these people are pre-qualified. So they're going to deal with fewer leads, but they can pay more attention to those leads and in turn have a higher conversion rate. It's up to you. On average, I would say whatever your Evergreen offer is, the easiest place to start is whatever your ongoing investment is, just keep it pretty close to that. So if it's normally $199 a month, then set up your Evergreen offer to be $199. Because now we know, hey, they can afford it, they have it. They're already saying, look, I kind of see the value in this sort of thing. I understand the value exchange. And this is something that can kind of start at any point in time. I mean, you could run kind of a self-directed transformation program for somebody and do it for 6 weeks and charge $299 even if you had, but the ongoing after that's a $199 program. So it's the same kind of price per day, price per session type of ratio, but you could package it up as a transformation program. I mean, you can kind of put whatever coat of paint on it you want so it looks a certain way, but it's something that there's no defined, hey, I have to start on Monday to get going, because now we can plug it into that nurture sequence. If somebody shows up on our website, they can do this. There's an easy way for them to kind of come on board and be exposed to this. And then the third one is a deadline-driven offer. And this is, it's basically taking advantage of the fact that so many people are driven by deadlines. They're driven by this fear of loss, right? Like, I'm going to miss out. So if you've built up this contact list, this database of people who read your newsletter, now we've got something to market to that kind of stands out. Like, hey, our next transformation contest is going to be launching on Monday, so you need to enroll now. And so there's some urgency there. We got something to sell up to, and it's a reason. Like, if you want to run internal stuff like referral promotions, it's a reason for people to refer their friends because they would miss out. The time is going to pass if they don't do it. Whereas normally if you ask people to refer and they're just referring to an Evergreen offer, okay, I can do it next week. I can do it next month. I can do it next year. There's no real urgency, right? So the common thing that we see with the deadline-driven offers at this stage is, transformation challenge, be it a 28-day or 6-week or an 8-week, you decide, but that's the normal one. Now, I think the magic in deadline-driven offers is they're not every month, right? Like, you probably can run one at most every couple of months. You could probably, every 8 weeks you could probably do this before you kind of come off as like the little boy who cried wolf. And like, there'll be another one coming up soon. I didn't really miss out. So if you have these 3 offers in place, I don't think you need anything else to offer. Your goal should be continually improving these. Now, what your lead capture offer is, it may need to change over time, especially if you're running like Facebook ads to it, because it'll get stale. People will quit paying attention, so you kind of cycle through. Maybe you decide your Evergreen offer, isn't converting at the level that you want, so you kind of repackage it. But the fundamentals remain the same. People can start at any point. It has to be at this kind of price threshold, and we're basically trying to get somebody to come in and just experience what we have to offer so they'll continue on afterwards. Deadline stuff, same thing. You may decide for a while that 6-week challenges are your thing, and then later on, you want to do a different time frame. it all works, but you pick 3, and instead of saying, okay, we're going to run this bikini challenge and this little black dress challenge, and then we're going to run this back to school challenge and this New Year's, and so all these different things that are kind of confusing, you don't have an identity, right? So pick a few things and be 10 times better than everybody else at those few things instead of trying to just take a shotgun approach and hope something works. Do that, and I think you get these 3 offers in place, and all the work that we put into in the other steps here, I mean, it's magnified, right? Like, the people that you're trying to reach know you for something. They see you as a specialist, and they say, wait a minute, that's what I'm looking for. The message is congruent. You've got testimonials. You've got testimonials from each of these types of offers too, right? Like, you've got, I mean, you might get social proof just saying, hey, that healthy recipe guide that you put together, I benefited this way and this way and this way. Or, you got before and afters from your deadline-driven offer so that every time you go through it, you got new people to share. So there are just a lot of benefits to taking this sort of approach.